Today, July 29th, is the feast of Martha and Mary. It's one of those feasts that we don't really think about. However, it is actually one of the major feast days of the church. So Martha and Mary seem to be important figures as far as the church is concerned. The most familiar gospel passage about the two of them is the one where Jesus goes to have dinner with them. It reads like this from the Gospel of Luke. Now, as they went on their way, Jesus entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." That's out of Luke's Gospel, chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. Typically, we take this story and we talk about who's a Martha and who's a Mary. We split it up in such a way that we try to pick sides, so to speak, and figure out, well, I'm kind of a Mary person or I'm kind of a Martha person. And I think the story is much deeper than that. I think the story has a lot more to do with the idea of how do we care for one another? How do we care for those who we encounter on a regular basis? And really, in other words, how do we do love for one another? Martha is doing love by doing stuff. Mary is doing love by paying attention and by sitting at the feet of Jesus. And I don't think it's a matter of one is better than the other. I think the problem that Jesus sees in Martha is not the fact that she's got things that she's doing, but instead the fact that she's lost sight of the friendship that they're trying to build together. In the midst of her doing, she's basically first sort of ignored her guest, and then she's even goes and tries to get her guests to come and be the arbitrator between her and her sister. Tell my sister to help me. And that's where the sight gets lost. The sight of love gets lost. You know, in the world we're living in right now, the idea of being distracted by many things is way too easy for any of us to know and to deal with and to live with. There are so many things that we can be distracted with in the midst of the civic unrest with regard to racial reconciliation and racial injustice, with the COVID situation, with all the uncertainty as far as financial circumstances are concerned, and we're in the midst of getting ready for a presidential election. Holy mackerel. There's a lot of things for us to be distracted with. So that's the invitation, I think, in the story is an invitation for us to slow down, to stop, to wait, to look, and to love in such a way that we open our eyes, open our hearts, open our minds to receive whatever Jesus is trying to give us. So stop, slow down, and focus on the practice of presence of God. It's not easy because it's so easy to get pulled away. But I think that's the invitation of the Martha and Mary story, is an invitation to really improve our friendship with Christ, improve our friendship with the Lord on a daily basis by being with God and focusing on God and letting go of some of the to-dos of the world. The collect for the day includes a sentence that says, "Open our hearts to love you, our ears to hear you, and our hands to welcome and serve you and others through Jesus Christ, our risen Lord." So that invitation to be open to the possibility that there are places and means by which we can care for God, love God, hear God, sit at the feet of God. And sometimes it's going to be at the feet of another person. These were really close friends of Jesus. And the idea that close friends can be a place where we can actually get connected to God is very much a reality. And maybe it's a place where we can also gain some focus and let go of some of our distractions. So maybe this week, get in contact with a friend, get in contact with somebody that you care about, and open your heart to love and your ears to hear and your hands to welcome. And in the midst of that, not only might they be changed, but I know that we will be changed as well, because when we reach out like that in love, that love multiplies and comes back to us in abundance. So may we be ones who focus on the Lord, who are willing to listen to hear God's call in our lives, and be willing to let go of the distractions of this world. Blessings to all of you. I miss you all, and hopefully we will be together sometime in the future. In the meantime, keep the faith, and remember, God's love is always with you.